very warm welcome to my channel. I am Shanti, and in this video I wanted to talk about Korean dramas, the work of two Korean actresses who I've come to love and admire. But before going any further, I do want to clarify a bit about why I am talking about this topic. So if you're a first time watcher, well and good, but if you are someone who has been here for a while, you might wonder why this topic at all, because even though this channel doesn't promise any specific kind of content, it has been predominantly about books and topics that I have read from books. So even if I made some health videos, that was because of something that I read in books. So I did make some videos based on some lifestyle things or homekeeping things, and also a video on Korean drama recommendations a while ago. But apart from that, it's mostly books. But I do intend to make more content with respect to movies, and that includes Korean dramas. So why do I want to make videos about that as well? So I guess it starts off from the fact that I have always been associated with cinema. Cinema has always been a huge part of our life and culture as a Telugu person. Cinema is always a huge part of our life. So we go to, whenever there's a new movie coming up, we need to go to the theater, maybe first show, and talk about it, have fights about who's your favorite actor, and so all these kind of things that are like part of the lifestyle, even for kids who are going to school and for people who go to offices. So it's a huge part of our lifestyle. So I have grown up with Telugu cinema, and as I grew up, of course, I explored more kind of cinema. It was Bollywood, and then I've seen some English movies. So it's like you evolve, right? So once you are a cinema fan, you evolve. And Korean dramas is also something that has come up as part of this exploration. And I think a major shift happened in the way I watched cinema and TV shows is when I met my husband, who was a very serious movie watcher. So till that point of time, movie was just entertainment for me. It didn't mean much to me. But for him, it was completely different. He was someone who could observe the technical aspects, who could observe the direction, and who had an eye for things which was special. And that really fascinated me, and he showed me movies which really moved me, which really helped me think in a lot of different ways. And that's when I realized that movies can also be used as vehicles of change. I am so into books for that purpose, for growing as a person, that I never thought movies also could be used for that. So that's the kind of shift that happened when I met my husband. And then I started off with my own journey. Once I became a serious movie watcher, I started off with my own journey. And so I become a little nerdy at times about movies. Of course, if you compare me with if you like take a bunch of serious movie watchers, I might not be like a very good authority in that bunch, but I have grown above the average watcher, and I needed an outlet for that. So that is why I have this. I thought I'll make videos on that part of me as well. So you can expect more content related to TV shows and movies and such. Yes, so that is about why I'm making this video. So let's get to these two Korean actresses. So the first actress that we're going to be talking about is Shin Hye-sun. I'm pretty sure the pronunciation is not very exact, but you've got to bear with it. So she is my favorite actress, and I feel like she is such a treat to watch on screen, that like whenever she comes on screen, I'm like lighting up, because yes, this is gonna be good kind of an feeling. That's what I feel like. So the very first time that I watched her, so I'm gonna be talking about my journey with the actress, not the journey of the actress, okay? So my journey with her started with the series Stranger. The Stranger or Stranger, I don't know. So this is a bit of a serious Korean series, which is unlike, the typical drama that is usually popularized in India. So this series, she was not the lead role. She had like a good enough role, but she was not the lead role. So she brought a lot of intensity into that role, a lot of, gripping kind of feeling that I just remembered her. Like, I see, it's a little easy for me to confuse faces, especially when it is not the lead role. Uh, when the screen time is not so high, it can get a little confusing for me. I will not deny that. So the fact that I remembered her very well and I can recognize her, that means a lot. So that was my you know, first time that I saw her on screen, and I really liked the way she portrayed that role. And the next that I saw of her was The Legend of the Blue Sea. So in this also, she is not the lead role, and she did not have such a meaty content as well. But when you compare her with the actress of Legend of the Blue Sea, I don't know her name, but I think she is the uh, lead in My Sassy Girl, I think. So she is actually known for being very beautiful, whereas Shin Hye-sun is not, like, she's not that kind of beautiful, at least. But still, I felt like her attractiveness was like comparable. I will not say that she dominated her, the lead person, but it was comparable simply because of her personality. And that's what I like about her. She brings so much liveliness and a strength in her personality that she becomes so attractive, even though she's not like a traditional kind of beauty. So that was the second series that I watched her. Uh, the next is a series called Still 17, and this is where I think I like, really felt like she is something. She must be something, because there was nothing intense about this role as well. But there was a particular scene where she brings a lot of sadness into it, and I felt so sad. I could like empathize with her so much, and that was when I realized, oh my god, like, it's so easy for her to create this feeling in me, which is a lot of good actresses do that, and I felt like she did that very, very well. So that was the third series that I watched about her, and I think by that time I had become a fan. And the next series that I watched only just sort of reinforced my existing ideas about her. So two of those series are, the first one is Mr. Queen, and the next is Welcome to Samdalri. So these two series are more comedy compared to, Still 17 is not exactly a thriller kind of a thing as compared to Stranger, but it's still not very, comedy kind of a thing. It's a little bit of drama. But Mr. Queen and Welcome to Samdalri is very light-hearted and very comedic, and she brought a lot of versatility to that. And I could, especially Mr. Queen, it's I feel like a different kind of a role wherein you have to act like a man in a woman's body, which she pulled it off really, really well, actually. So you could watch out for that. Mr. Queen, I think, is something that a lot of people will like. So finally, the latest series that I have seen her is The Art of Sarah. And I know that this was gonna be good even before it came out, simply because it was her. And she did not disappoint me. This is one of the best series that I have watched. A lot of people, I guess, found it a little boring, at least according to the, Reddit threads. But for me personally, I feel like it was such a gripping role, and by far the best, I guess, of her. I mean, she's the best. Whatever she does, she's the best. a variety of roles, all kind of light-hearted, serious, intensity, um, anything. She can bring a lot of meat to that role, whatever she's playing. So that is about Shin Hye-sun. The second actress we're going to be talking about is Shin Min-ah. So I'm pretty sure I nailed that pronunciation. So Shin Min-ah is not exactly my favorite actress, in the sense that, see, when you see a favorite person, you just, there's a lot of good feeling that comes up immediately, right? You light up. But Shin Min-ah is not exactly that kind of favorite. What happened with her is my respect towards her sort of grew over time, like slowly, and that's something different. It's a different kind of, respect, appreciation. I think it started off with the fact that you see a lot of sexism in Korean content, and initially it was not a huge turn off for me because sexism is quite normalized in the content that I have grown up watching, the Indian content, and it's a kind of society, the things that we take for granted, it's very normalized, a lot of things. But then you grow up over time, you read all these ideas, and you realize just the intensity of how, the depth of some things which are seemingly very small on the surface. So all of that you grow over time, right? So when I first started out, I did not really care much about sexism, but over time it became a huge turn off. There were dramas which felt very sexist, and even though they were hits, I felt like they were unbearable for me to watch. So the question, at one point of time, it became difficult for me to choose Korean dramas which I know I would like. The Korean drama recommendations that you see online, it can get a little hard to choose from that. So then you need to start going by the actresses or actors. You start having a little trust on them. This is what they can bring to the role. This is what they can offer. And that builds over time. That kind of understanding builds over time with experience, right? So I have come to understand that Shin Min-ah is someone who has been there for a long time, but she has never, even when sexism was pretty normal, like it has declined a lot. Like these days, if you see, there's not much sexism as compared to previous times. But even though she's such an old actress, she has been here for a while, she has never done a typical sexist role, like someone who looks down on whose character, that role of the woman that she's playing. They've always carried a little bit of respect, and that understanding dawned on me only over time. And that's when I started really respecting the work that she's doing, and she has never disappointed me. So that's, I think, her selling point for me, when it comes to me. So Oh My Venus was the second drama ever for me to watch, and my first drama of Shin Min-ah. And in that, she was not my favorite, like I said, but I did remember her face. She's like the beautiful girl, right? And the second drama that I saw is years later, which was Hometown Cha Cha Cha. Once again, she did not impress me so as to like make her my favorite actress, but it was also quite good. I think it was in Our Blues where things started to change a little. In Our Blues, of course, she's not the lead role. It's a collection of, like, a lot of people are the main role, right? So it's a collection of stories of a lot of people. So she is one of the stories, one of the main stories. And I think I was grateful for the kind of role that she did. I was quite grateful, probably because I was becoming that person. Like she was a person in depression, and she portrayed that role, and I felt like she did that, and I'm grateful for her doing that role, kind of, because when a famous actress does something, it becomes influential, and I'm grateful for her doing that role so that she can bring more awareness. Of course, there are like a lot of other Korean dramas which which talk about mental health issues, and which specifically, like there's Dr. Slump and Daily Dose of Sunshine, which have helped me more in terms of mental health. But the fact that she brought such an important role in her portfolio, kind of, it increased my respect towards her, especially. So that was, I think, the turning point for me, where I started like slowly, she is good, I need to watch her more, kind of a thing, or I need to trust her more, kind of a thing. And finally, now I'm watching one series called No Gain No Love. I've only watched one episode, so I cannot say how good it is gonna be, but I have this trust that it is gonna be good, that it is gonna be a feel good series as well, which is quite important for me. This trust right now is quite important for me because I am having a problem with my attention span. Like I've made a previous video talking about having too many books on my currently reading list, because I just cannot seem to focus on any one book, which is the same thing that's happening with my movies and TV shows as well. I'm not able to stick with any series. I watch a bit continuously, like for a few days I watch it continuously, and then I leave it midway. So there's so many series that I've left midway, even good ones, simply because I guess they're not what I want right now, for a lot of reasons, I guess. So I needed a series which I know will be good, which I know will not be too intense. Like they need to be a little feel good, light-hearted kind of a thing, entertaining as well, so that it can keep me engaged. So I feel like Shin Min-ah can get that to the roles that she has done. She can get all of that. She can be an entertainer, like a mass entertainer kind of a thing, while also bringing nuance and maturity to those roles. So with that kind of trust, I started the series, and I think it's gonna be good. And for now, at least, this trust is helping me move forward. And it's very important, to be able to stick to something. It brings a sense of accomplishment. That when you complete a book, when you complete a series, or when you complete anything, any project, it feels like an accomplishment, and you need that, especially when you have been on this kind of a slump wherein you're not able to complete anything that you started. It's important to be able to complete something. So this trust for me is important, and this trust has come because of Shin Min-ah. So these are the two actresses that I wanted to talk about, but I will talk about one additional actress, because as I was making this video, I just remembered that she's also someone who's like pretty good, and I need to talk about her. So I'll just add one more actress to the list. So she is Ye-jin, I think her name is. So she is the actress from Crash Landing on You, and I remembered her only now because the truth is, Crash Landing on You is one of those popular super hit, smash hit series which I have not really like. I'm not a huge fan of it. Okay, so it's not that I don't like it. I do like it, but is it really like such a big hit? I did not like it to that intensity. Okay, so but I know that I know her pretty well because it is such a big hit. But recently, very recently, I completed this series, and I actually also want to make a separate video if possible on that particular series, which is Something in the Rain. And when I saw this series, and when I saw her portraying this particular role in this series, I felt like, oh my god, she's such a good actress, and she felt like she was brilliant in that role, and the kind of the kind of intensity she brought to that role. It is not an easy role to play, in my opinion. So I'll talk a bit about that role. So when I saw Something in the Rain, I felt something shift, like the actress that you saw in Crash Landing on You, who can deliver a mass blockbuster kind of a thing, and that's the kind of image that at least I have on her, because obviously, like, I'm not a Korean, so I'm not like very well versed with every work that uh, yeah, I'm not like a native, right? So I did not know this side of her, and knowing that she's capable of doing something like this, that really you know I was impressed by that. So something in the rain is about the role that I like is she's someone who has constantly been pushed around. Her space has been like taken. It's having an overbearing mother who's like invading into all kinds of spaces. Her relationship, her job is also a place where her senior officials have invaded her personal space and all, and the kind of effect that this can have on a girl, where she's so used to uh, letting her personal space be invaded. She will keep giving importance to other people, she will keep making excuses to other people at the cost of herself, and growing from that to someone who can stand up for herself, who needs to stand up for herself, otherwise, there's no survival. That is the kind of personal growth that you can see of her in this particular series, which is, oh my god, I mean, uh, I think it needs to be more famous. At least, I think it is a big hit in Korea, but I think it's not a big hit internationally. So these are the kind of dramas I really like, which are difficult to find on typical media outlets. But these are gems that you find only with experience. So yes, this is one actress that I also wanted to talk about. As I talked about the previous two actresses, it felt almost unfair to not talk about her. So yes, this is like a bonus. Uh, so this is all about what I wanted to talk about, the Korean actresses and their work, and my relationship with their work, and how it affected me in my life, or in my serious movie watching wala aspect of my life. So yes, that is all about today, this video. See you in the next video.